cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is For Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Freddie G, joined by my co-host, K Money, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. Fellas, as I was preparing for today's show, right, I was listening to Life Jennings. I was listening to his first album, man, and there's a song on that album called Hypothetically. Now, I done heard this song a million times, man, but for some reason, man, something sparked me, man, and so I scrapped the original topic that we was going to talk about today, man, and so we'll push that back to a later date. All right. I actually want to discuss something that I heard in that song, Hypothetically, and so it was the female's verse. That female that was singing on it, she did an excellent job singing too, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to read the lyrics, man, that sparked me, man, for today's show, and I wanted to scrap the original topic that we were going to talk about. Y'all cool with that?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir. Business.
Okay, so this is her verse. Well, what if I told you that I had a confession? What if I said 4 years ago when we were arguing, he came to comfort me and I wound up pregnant? And I just can't say for sure if the baby's yours. Now, what if I confessed it and it turned out not to be your baby after you get tested and destroy what we've been blessed with? What if I suppressed it? 'Cause technically, you're the baby's daddy anyway. Is it wrong for me to want you to stay? Or would you rather me tear you away from the only family you know? Or if it's just too big a secret to keep it on the low? Now, that's cold-blooded, right?
That is.
You're in a relationship, and when y'all was arguing and y'all went through what you went through, some dude came to comfort your gal, and she ended up pregnant. But this the part that gets me. Mm-hmm. And she sang real good when she got to this part. She said, 'cause technically, you're the baby's daddy anyway. You know it's women out there that's scandalous like that, right?
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Bro, I was just looking at a TikTok story. I was just looking at the girl from Jamaica. When she starts off, it's story time. She does it in Jamaica, but sometimes she speaks English. I don't know if she's Jamaican for real or not, but she's beautiful. I will say that. Anyway, she talks about the story time where there was a lady, and I forgot, she's a nurse or a doctor or something like that, some type of RN, and they had one of her patients under anesthesia. But as she was coming to, she started talking out sideways. I don't know if you ever been under anesthesia, but you talk sideways and talk about crazy stuff. And she said to her, hey, this drug makes me feel like one time when I was out of the country and I was laying under two guys. And then her son walks in. And she continues to tell the story while the son is there. She said, until this day, I still don't know who the father is of my daughter, right? And she turns to the son and says, please don't tell your dad. So it happens. There's so many stories on Instagram. With the other guy, the guy that did 10 years, he did get 10 years for not paying child support, right? He did 10 years for not paying child support. And then they go to court so they can do the civil part of it. They do a blood test only to find out he is not the father. So he done 10 years of life, 10 years of his life in jail for not paying child support for a baby that was not his. It's bad, man.
Yeah, Maury Povich.
You're
Not the father.
You're not the father.
not the father. Yeah, Maury. Is he?
What do you think should happen to women? And really, before you answer, really think about it. And this for any one of you guys. What do you think should happen to women that intentionally, keyword intentionally, that intentionally lie and put babies on men that shouldn't be the father of the child?
That's crazy. It actually happened to me twice too. So, but go ahead.
I believe it should be consequences.
Yeah, it definitely should be consequences. I think if a guy paid child support
for 10 years, like he did,
Right.
Or
and it was later found out that he wasn't the father. I feel like it's the female. The court should make the female reimburse him.
Yeah, he should be compensated
exactly
for that.
For the amount that he disclosed, the amount he paid.
He should get it.
She should be ordered to reimburse him.
I agree.
I go one step above that. I say, because you talking about reimbursing the guy, but what's supposed to happen to the girl? You just ruined somebody's life. You just took money from, or it just say he didn't go to jail. He just paid the child support. You just took money from this. You under false pretenses.
Exactly.
So you
lied
need
to him.
some type of criminal. In 1628, they used to burn witches at the. Never mind. But seriously, some type of criminal. I mean, for me, I'm sorry. I feel like 10 years in jail, and it wasn't his baby. That particular woman, I think she should burn it.
So
but if it's anybody else,
let's take child support off the table, right?
Oh, okay.
It's your wife, and she gets pregnant by somebody. Never tells you. Hell, she don't even know that it's not your baby, but she know that she had an affair. But she been thinking that the baby is yours the whole time. But
because she only did it one time.
But you come to realize that, damn, this baby don't have none of my DNA. Something ain't right about this baby.
Lazy eye.
Yeah.
Good hair. I have nappy.
Yeah, this baby coming out looking like Comedian 96. And so you go and get swab the babies. Well, not a baby. You go and get some sort of DNA test, right? After this child, you kind of raise this child up to be around like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm, that's what I was thinking.
Now, you find out that that's not your child. That's not your child. Does the line that the young lady said, because technically you're the baby's daddy anyway, is it wrong for me to want you to stay? Or rather, would you have me tear you away from the only family you know? Or is it just too big a secret to keep it on the low? So now, technically, are you the baby's daddy? You done raise this child up to 10 years old.
That's what she's saying.
10 years is a long time, all right? So at this point, I'm already attached to the child.
Exactly.
However, that relationship, nah. I mean, I'd still raise a child.
So you would deal with the child differently after you found out?
No. Child ain't had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
What I'm gonna be mad at the child for? It's the mother. She the one opened her legs for how many ever minutes and had sex and unprotected. At least if you're gonna do it, use a condom. But you did it unprotected and got pregnant. So our relationships gotta take a little. We gonna take a little time out. But I'll still take care of the baby like it was day one. But it's one of those situations where if I meet another woman, you know how they always say, I come with a package. Mm-hmm. You know how women say they come with a package, right? That baby, because it's not mine, if I meet another woman and I'm getting serious and I can't no longer carry that baby that's not mine anymore because I'm in a whole new relationship. I can't do it.
So you just go emotionally cut yourself
because
off?
Think about it. Look about the wife. Why are you picking up a baby that's not yours? I don't care if you've been knowing it 10 years. That's not your baby. I can get it. After a while, I'll be like, golly, I know I love this baby, but gosh, she right. I'm finna marry a whole new family. This baby has no blood ties to me. Only he's been knowing me for 10 years. But if I got a whole brand new family over here that I'm about to marry, I got to let that baby because it's not mine.
So let's go back to the original question, though. In that scenario that Freddie G just used, the female wasn't sure who the father was, but you took it upon yourself to get the DNA test done. How should she be penalized in that scenario?
I told you 1628 burn at the stake, but I'm no. I mean, in certain situations, for real on that, like the 10-year, the guy going to jail for 10 years, I literally believe she should burn at the stake. But if it's anybody else, they paid child support for 10 years, they didn't know for 10 years. I think some type of legal action should happen because right now women are not held accountable for anything.
I agree.
They're not like child support. You call them, they would treat you. Here in Texas, at least, they would treat you like you are the criminal. They you know, like,
facts.
Yeah, you know, like you be like, ma'am, I'm calling you because I'm trying to pay extra. I don't care. What's your name and social security, your badge? Ma'am, I am not locked up. I am trying to pay. I'm sorry,
my first trip to Attorney General's office was the first time I smoked 2 Newports back to back.
Oh,
I felt so damn violated.
They are so.
Why do y'all think they are rude to the fathers that have to pay child support? Why do you think that they're that way?
I guess repetitively seeing the same old the father types that don't pay, that they gotta chase. I think after you do that over the course of time, after a while, every man probably will fall into that category that we're sorry if you've been doing that for so many years. I just think we just happen to fall under that double standard rule that we don't like. You know, even though we pay child support on time, never been late, anything, we just happen to fall. I think the majority do not, or they are running from it. And it's been like that for years. Mm-hmm. So I know people that never pay child support. So, and they got orders out on them, they never paid. So I guess after a while, you got to think of a worker's been there 10, 15 years, and they've been chasing 80% of the men. After a while, that other 20% going to end up being 100. That's what's going to happen. You're just going to end up falling up under all men.
I think the deadbeat dad has made it bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
tougher for the good guys out there that are real fathers, you know, and are present fathers, but where the system just doesn't factor that in.
Yeah,
they see 2 parents come before them. The father automatically is the bad guy. In my opinion, that's how they look at us. You know, and I blame that on the deadbeats out there that have caused them to stereotype us in a negative light.
Right. I agree with that.
So you agree with that, Slash?
Yep, I agree with it. It's definitely the way they perceive black people, you know, are we never gonna get our just due in, you know, because of our skin color.
So do y'all think that because there are a bunch of women that hold the attorney general role?
that's true.
Not attorney general roles. Let me rephrase that. That work at the attorney general office.
Yes.
Do you think that they unconsciously? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, and not say that they do it on purpose or intentionally, right? Do you think that they unconsciously be a little mean toward the guys that come in?
I think yes.
Or the guys that they deal with?
I think so, but I will say this. My daughter is now 16 going on, she's 16, right? I will say this. The first 14 years, they were terrible, horrible. But the last 2 calls were actually pleasant, and I couldn't believe it. They were actually pleasant. Both the last 2 calls that I had. Not saying that, I mean, you know, you're always going to get, you know how you say you get a bad apple, it's one bad apple? Well, they have 2 good apples in this tree. Most of their trees are bad apples because they always treat us bad right off the rip. But they just happen to have 2 good apples, and those 2 good apples were really good people. But 95% of the time, it's going to be somebody already just off the rip being mean. You can say, ma'am, hey, I got $20 million waiting for you. Can we talk about my child? When did you pay child support last? Wait a minute, ma'am. I just told you I gave you $20 million. That's how bad it be bad. It doesn't matter. There's no reasoning. We're wrong right off. As soon as we pick up the phone, we wrong.
Okay, so now let's just kind of reel it back because I don't want to get sidetracked on child support, but that was
Yeah.
good. That was good with the questions with child support and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I want to go right back to that last line, right, of the verse where she says, or is it just too big a secret to keep it on the low? So here's what I want to ask you guys individually. If she got pregnant by somebody and she can't say for sure if the baby's yours, right? And you're married to her, starting with you, Slash, would you want to know?
If she had a baby, did I?
You think it's yours, but she has questions in her mind of whether or not it's yours. Would you want her to tell you, or should she just keep it a secret,
she
keep it on the low?
She needed to tell me, because the longer you wait, the more serious that gets.
There's a good chance that you may never find out.
If that's the case, then that's the way it's supposed to go.
Okay, but you would want her to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, Comedian 96.
10 years in or
No. She's
pregnant
pregnant
now.
She's pregnant. But she can't. This is your wife. She's pregnant. You think you got her pregnant. But she went out and had an affair, and she just really don't know if the baby is yours. Would you want her to tell you, or would you not want to know?
All right. And this is go for a male or female, doesn't matter. If you want to keep that relationship, me or her, in her case, her, if you want to keep the relationship, you keep that shit to yourself. Take that shit to the grave. Don't put that on me. Don't put that energy on me. You keep that. You take that shit to the grave. Don't transfer it to me. You keep that. I don't want it.
Okay.
So shut the fuck up. You cheated. Take that shit to the grave.
You'll
with
never
you.
know that she cheated.
I'll never know. Keep
Yeah.
that shit with you. If you want us to stay together,
Yeah,
Okay, how do you feel about
I agree
that,
with
Kevin?
Comedian 96, man. That'd be something that she would have to go to the grave with, because once you expose or made me aware that, you already have cheated, then, the way I deal with this child is going to affect the way I deal with this child moving forward. I have to know deep down whether or not, this is my blood. And even after the fact, depending on how long the child hasn't even been born yet, correct?
No,
Okay,
child hasn't been born.
So there is no bond, but I would have to know if it was brought to light that infidelity had occurred.
yeah, because I would want to know that, right?
But if I didn't know that she cheated,
Yeah.
take it to the grave. I don't know.
Take it to the grave. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in agreement with both of y'all. I wouldn't want to know if you cheated, and if you're kind of concerned of whether or not the child is mine, I wouldn't want to know. Take that to the grave. Now, let me switch gears just a tad bit, right? What if you are a female, you get pregnant, you know for sure that my man or my husband is my baby's father. You know that for sure. You ain't cheated. Female ain't cheated. She know, oh yeah, that's your baby. But the dude has trust issues, and he's a little skeptical, and be like, you know what, you pregnant, I want to get a DNA test. Do she have a right to be angry with him?
I feel like this. If she knows she ain't did nothing wrong and she love him, she would take the test.
Okay.
I agree, Slash. If she wanted to help with his insecurity, and she's aware that he's insecure, what's the problem? I mean, go ahead, and you're confident that this is his child.
You don't have nothing to hide.
Exactly.
Then go and take tests and instead of causing arguments
So
when you haven't did nothing.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all, but here's the catch, though. Here's the catch to that, right? So, say you say, hey, baby, I know we're together. And that actually happened to me. I was with my daughter's mother, and I took the DNA test, but I knew damn well it was my baby, but I did it just for, just to be sure. It wasn't no problem, so I thought maybe it wasn't. I mean, I don't know if it was a problem because she never said anything about it.
Right.
But I have told her prior that I had two other women do it to me. right? And I even had the test. I kept them from the other ladies that tried to do it. So she was more understanding why I did it, right? But just say if it was a woman that like, are you serious? I'm with you every day. I will come home to you every day and you're going to ask me that? And she's really faithful. She might go ahead and say, yeah, okay, go. That's fine. But after I do this relationship is not going to be the same. So when you do that, that's a chance you're taking. When you especially when you got a real one, that's going to hurt her to the core. Like, you don't believe I didn't cheat on you? So it's like a catch-22 on that one.
I get that, you know, but you don't know what happened in their past in the relationship to give him that thought. It may have been some infidelity somewhere down the line, whether it was him or her. You know, he may be the guilty party.
And Comedian 96, I heard you say that had happened to you twice, and the third time you asked your daughter's mother to do that.
I said, I said, hey, it's happened to me. I even showed her the test from the other one. Look, they was negative, false. I take him now.
So you like going up in them raw, huh?
No. But it was years ago. Like, I don't do raw no more. No raw.
All right, man. So,
2 condoms at a time now.
So, man, I'm going to close this show, man. Pretty good topic, fellas, man. And I want to say this, man. It's a cold game. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. This includes another dope episode. Tune in tomorrow for Think Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.